Are schools capable of identifying the talent in the student?
School is actually the current school system that we have has so many scientific flaws in there that if you really need to cap the IQ, lower the IQ of a child, you have to put them in the current education system, and that's done on two or three critical levels. First and foremost, the kind of nervous system that we have for the growth of the brain cells. This current education system does not address that nervous system to begin with. Secondly, the kind of nervous system it does address, that's based on just a flight or fright, fight or flight mechanism, which means we are going to put a certain sort of an emergency on the child, which I'm okay with if it was done to a 15-year-old, 16-year-old child, but it is done on a 6-year-old, 7-year-old child. And before the 12th year of age, you cannot put any sort of a sympathetic nervous system trigger inside your system. But their system is based on quizzes and tests and threats and crisis and emergencies of so many kinds, and that actually stops the brain to actually grow, and the kind of hormone, the GTX, that is required for the brain cells to grow every minute, they actually make sure that is not triggered during their system, and they have to come as a reaction to motivate the child through pedagogical techniques. But this should be our primary weapon. Pedagogy, it should be our primary weapon, but we do it as a reaction to positively motivate children, and that's why there's so many problems in this system that scientifically, if you really need to dumb a child and lower the IQ of a child, you might want to put him into such sort of a punishment.
If school is not the right option, what should be done for the child?
Well, schooling is an option, the right option, but not the way it is done here in the current world right now. I'm not against schooling. There's a lot of benefit of putting a child into a group environment and then making him learn, even though focused learning is not going to be possible, specifically when you commercialize school and then you expect focused learning. We have a 20-to-1 teacher to student ratio, well, 1 teacher to 20 students. So that cannot lead towards focused learning, and that's why you can see 60-70% of the children in the school are destroyed for life. They go quieter, they lose their confidence because they're never going to top that group, and they could have if they were treated only through a different technique. And I know there's not enough possibility for giving a focus to every child, but that's why I'm just telling you, in theory, if you really want to lower the child's confidence and acumen capability, and then set him off into a normal spin. And that's why you see in your life, most of the people, not just students, most of the people, old people, they are quieter, they just don't want to take any chance, they don't want to initiate a conversation, they're always nervous about whenever they're put on the spot. And that started when they were in grade 1 into a group of 20, 30 or 15, 20, 30, 40 kids. And the teacher was not focusing on the least common denominator. The school actually focuses on the highest common denominator, and that denominator represents their grade system, and then that's what the projection and the marketing is done through those children, girls and boys. But we forget the fact that 80% of the brain of the school is not representative of any sort of capability that the human beings were born with.